Who's starting?
Maybe I'll do it again.
Oh, you want to do the thing?
Oh, no, I mean... You mean starting with the intro?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll start it. Quick.
Short.
Verse.
With.
Adam.
And.
Oops. Let me start
And
over.
Young.
Quick.
Short.
Verse.
With.
Young.
And Adam.
Quick. Short. Verse. With Adam and Young. Quick. Short. Verse. With Young and Adam. Quick. Short. Verse. Quick. Short. Verse. Quick. Short. Verse. With Adam and Young.
That should not be as hard as it is.
Yeah,
and it is.
It's like a mental exercise or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a speed bump too.
Yeah.
So far. It's just fucking me up every time, but I feel good that I'm not alone. So here we are.
Yeah. Let's get wild today.
Let's just trash the place.
Yeah, let's go insane.
This is my place, so please don't actually trash it or anything. But yeah,
I'm going to throw your furniture off your deck.
I don't have a TV. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But you can't go full Keith Moon on it or anything.
Yeah.
But you could do some damage around here. Please, please don't.
And then just throw all your furniture off the deck.
Yeah.
And I'll say, Adam Peltier lives here. I don't live here.
Well, okay. I think you should say exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have something to ponder.
Okay.
People often assume that the Murphy bed was named after its inventor.
Mm-hmm.
Not the case. It was actually named in memory of Irwin R. Murphy, the first man ever to be folded to death in his sleep.
Once again, I think your joke went way over my head. Like, what is happening here?
I don't know. I think it's best to just leave him there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was pondering something too. Like, there's pretty much like fucking of every kind, right? Example? I don't know. There's just all kinds of weird sex, right?
Sure.
But are there any people who do like butt to boobs fucking?
Ooh.
Would that even be pleasurable for anyone?
Like what would that look like to you?
I don't know, just like someone's butt going against someone's boobs.
Just up against boobs?
And they're just kind of...
Like, huh. You're not thinking like nipple to butthole kind of thing?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, that there's potential there. But just like kind of meat rubbing up against meat?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I don't know, that seems like it could be kind of interesting.
Yeah. Probably you got to get it all greased up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friction's going to be an issue.
But then you wouldn't want to be too slippery either, that would...
Well, you'd think so.
You'd just be like sliding all over the place.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes that happens. Stuff gets slippery. It could work. I like it. I think it's gonna take off now if it hasn't already. There's that saying that like if it exists, there's porn of it, or if you can think of it, there's porn.
Or there's some sort of a niche for it, some sort of a fetish out there for it.
Yeah, which I don't think is actually true, but I think there are probably some pretty kooky fetishes out there.
Yeah, I know there's dudes who really like it when women sit on their faces.
Yeah.
And like fart and stuff.
Yeah, or like step on their balls with high heels.
Ooh, I've never seen that one.
I've just heard of it.
That sounds insanely painful. Wouldn't you just destroy your testicles doing that?
Yeah, I think it's a bad scene. I've heard it said that sometimes people have a hard time just looking at porn at all because they find so much of it offensive.
Yeah.
And I do too. It's just that I do a really good job. When I see the little thumbnail or read a description or something that has nothing to do with what I want to check out, I just don't look at it. I can see how even probably seeing those little scale things and reading the thing could, maybe ruin your evening or something. But I'm just like, no, just keep scrolling and look for something I do want to see. But that kind of thing does come up. I'll see like, so-and-so steps on this guy's balls and I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
But it's come up quite a few times.
How does that kind of a fetish even develop? Was there a point in that person's life where like a female authority figure like just squeezed their balls or something? Or
Right. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's kind of like it's like the heart wants what it wants, but it's the dick instead or something. I don't know. Like those. Like I remember hearing that. There's the comic book artist Robert Crumb, and he's way into legs, and I think he always has been.
Oh yeah.
Like, people have told him like, oh, that means that you were kind of arrested in your development somewhere like very early on, and you were surrounded, like you would see your mom's legs. You were so short, and like all that was kind of immediately in your view when you would encounter your mother was her legs as she's walking by or something. Like maybe
that sounds like a little far-fetched to me.
Yeah, but I get that sense often when I hear little explanations for things like, oh, why are you like that? It's like, well, we can kind of,
I don't know.
We can guess and
yeah, that sounds too Freudian to me. Like, I think sexy legs and ass is just a sign of like a healthy woman or something. Right. I don't know, and it's just like I think that's natural to be attracted to nice legs.
Yeah, I agree.
And like I don't know, they're just very important. Yeah,
it's like if you're going to get around the conventional way, you're going to be using legs. So it makes sense that we would have aesthetic preferences about those things.
And a woman should probably have healthy legs if she's going to have to carry around a baby and stuff.
Yeah. After.
I mean, I'm just talking in a pure primal sense. I'm not saying
you're going
women have to have babies or anything like that. But I'm just saying, if we're looking at it, if we're really going to analyze this,
we are.
Yeah. Psycho or whatever, evolutionarily.
Yeah. We'll get out the armchairs.
Yeah. You don't have any armchairs here. Oh, well, you have an armchair over there.
I have one. We can switch. We can just take turns.
Yeah. But you know how these days you're not really supposed to say midget anymore?
Yeah, it's frowned upon.
But you're supposed to call them little people, right? Or a little person?
I think so.
But do you know the expression mental midget? So now would you say someone's a mental little person?
I mean, if push comes to shove, yeah. When you find how, as you often do, that you're forced to use that term.
If you're really trying not to, you're really worried about offending anyone, you're like, that guy's a real mental little person.
It's a bit wordy, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue, and it just doesn't sound as, biting.
No, a mental little person. It just kind of neuters the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe this is a good time to go into world exploration.
Okay. Let's have it.
Have at it?
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. This week in world exploration, we're launching off to Gay Paris. There are so many sights to see in this city that it's totally bonkers. We've been ambling through the wonderful parks and streets and have made our way to the catacombs. I'm going to ask this French chick some questions. Bonjour, mademoiselle. I'm an American tourist. May I ask you some questions about this place?
Américain stupide. Qu'est-ce que tu racontes?
Haha. What, dude? Why did you guys put all these dead people down here?
C'est une catacombe. Quel genre de question idiotesse?
Those are some killer skulls and bones. Don't you think that's kind of morbid?
Oui, c'est le point.
Yeah, but they look pretty badass.
De quoi parle ce crétin? Parle français.
Well, you look busy and whatnot, so I'll let you go now. Thanks.
Éloigne-toi de moi, cochon américain.
Okay, bye.
Did she call you a cretin?
I don't know. She wasn't very nice, though, was she? She was kind of...
I can only go by context
snippy
clues,
or
but
something.
It seemed a little,
Yeah, the tone just wasn't right.
Like, you didn't ask her anything about America, but she kept referring to Americans, for one thing.
Yeah, I think she might have been insulting me.
Yeah.
That left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. It's a good thing Paris is so damned interesting because it kind of succeeds in spite of the people. Mm-hmm.
They're lucky in that way.
Yeah.
They're probably one of their main industries is probably tourism.
Yeah.
And
being snippy.
I'm sure they make pretty decent money off of like their cuisine. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, their main industry is tourism, right? Well, what are their other industries? They make airplanes? I think Airbus.
Yep, Airbus. There's cheese,
wine,
and then there's attitude.
Dude, I think people. It's kind of like a cat person.
They're Paris person.
Yeah, it's like they kind of like the abuse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go to France.
Yeah.
And have everyone condescend to us.
Get a Parisian lady to step on my balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there aren't, loving cats out there.
Oh, let's not walk it back.
That like to get intimate.
We're into this
with
now.
Their owners. Oh, okay. You're not going to let me walk this back? You're going to hold me to this?
That's right.
Okay.
There's a record of this now.
But you know what would be funny? Is if a dude had a pretty nice, he's got a pretty nice penis when it's flaccid.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's a pretty big penis.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's the exact same size when it's erect. So his erect penis is actually not that big.
Right. Yeah. The optimism about what that thing would be like when it was all pumped up and ready to go.
Yeah.
It's just for nothing. Yeah.
Someone who's purely a shower could actually have like a smaller dick than someone who's a serious grower.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Which is like a funny thought.
Do you think there's such a thing as a shrinker? Like, is there anybody they're actually smaller, hard than they are flaccid?
I don't know how that would work.
Because it's kind of like, generally
its dick would just cave in on itself.
Or how it gets girthier.
Yeah.
When it's erect. Let's really get.
Oh,
into
so
this
like
now.
its length could kind of shrink.
Yeah,
maybe.
right. That's what I'm thinking.
Like it just gets so
a
fat.
consistent volume, but it just kind of swishes in like a Shar-Pei, but like widens up. I've never
That's
thought
an
of this
interesting
before.
thought. It could probably happen.
Yeah, we're into some next level kind of genital conjecture here.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with enough dicks to really know that.
Yeah. Well, you got time.
Yeah, I could go online and do some research.
Yeah.
Check out all kinds of porn.
Yeah. Learn a lot about dicks.
You can never know too much about dicks.
Yeah. Is that right? Is that true? All right.
And the best way to learn is hands-on, so.
Yeah.
Or mouth too.
Or mouth on. Yeah, you gotta kiss a lot of frogs.
Yeah.
I think I can know enough about dicks, probably.
Yeah.
I might know enough now. Yeah.
But I invite you to dive into that. And now I promise I'll start right after you do. Once you let me know what's going on. With that.
It's like a suicide pact with just a slight lag.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm going to jump too.
I'm right here with you. All right. It's not all right.
Just jump, dude. Come on.
I know you. You're going to get cold feet right at the crucial moment.
Yeah, I might. But I thought the last maybe few podcasts, maybe there's been a slight negative or cynical tone to them. So I thought I'd change it up and tell like a really positive joke.
Okay.
So what do you get when you put a baby lamb, a rainbow, confetti, and candy in a field of flowers?
What?
Pure happiness.
Nice.
Yeah.
Zing.
Happy joke. Positivity, my friends. I hope that made your day, someone out there. And if it didn't, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You have a black heart.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring a little joy to your life.
Is that so fucking wrong?
Yeah. All right, we're going the wrong way again.
Yeah. Well, I need a little.
That wasn't the point of this joke, Adam.
Sorry. Well, I had to segue a little bit to my story about driving this week.
Okay.
I got in a miniature accident a few days ago.
Shit, with your Volvo?
Yeah.
Did it get
My
dinged up?
old car. The damage is pretty contained. It's not too bad. So I was driving to a meeting one afternoon, and I ended up behind a sizable Beamer SUV, this big black SUV that looked pretty new, and going along on an arterial, and they were slowing down, like going fairly slow, and I was like, okay. And then they slowed down pretty considerably, and so did I. And I ended up, they just stopped, and so I had to abruptly stop, and I ended up probably within a foot of them, by the time I had actually stopped. And I'm like, shit. And, kind of in that moment, doing that thing where you just realize, like, oh, it's a good thing I was actually paying attention, and, because this could have been bad. And then I see the reverse lights on the BMW go on, and the thing starts coming for me. And
in reverse?
Yeah, it starts backing up.
They didn't even watch where they were going or anything?
It was just coming back, and before I could even, I'm almost positive, in the moment I couldn't realize what was happening first. I was going to lay on the horn, and I think it made contact before I even was able to lay on the horn. And so I think from outside you would have seen the thing hit me, and then this like a half second lag, and then me just laying on the horn and screaming "fuck."
Yeah.
And
what an idiot! What?
And then, so I'm stuck there, the horn is on. I probably laid on it for like 5 seconds, and I let it off, and I'm sitting there like, okay, gotta, do the whole thing. I realized my foot, I was like stomping the brake, because I think there's a natural instinct not to let yourself roll backward. And so I let my foot off the brake, and the car kind of like decoupled from the Beamer. It was like, and like you could feel it collapse. I was like, God. And so the Beamer pulled over up ahead, and I pulled over, and we got out. And this woman says, I can't remember what she said first. It was two fun pieces of information. I didn't see you there, and I just bought this car yesterday.
No.
Nobody listening to this knows that I've had my car for a very long time, and it kind of shows that. It's a really cool car, but the paint job is not in great shape or anything. But the body is straight, like it's in decent running order and everything.
What is it? What year is it exactly?
It's a 72.
72 Volvo.
Yeah.
It's a really cool looking car.
It's pretty low to the ground, and that was one of the things. Like, I know, of course, I was right behind her. I'm sure, like, trying to check her blind spots to the side, she wouldn't have seen me. Trying to check her rear view mirror over the top, she wouldn't have seen me.
Yeah.
That's why they have those little cameras built into those gigantic cars, and I'm pretty sure they all have those beeper things too, so that when there's when you're within a certain proximity, it lets you know.
There's probably a little bit of like she's just kind of backing up, like praying to a degree, like there's no one there, like, because
I don't think she was really thinking completely.
Because she was backing up in a weird spot, right? That spot you wouldn't normally just go in reverse
in the middle of the road.
It
turned out there was someone in front of her who was going to parallel park, and maybe she was a little bit in their way. I'm wondering if if it might have been more a courtesy thing, like, oh, let me just give them plenty of room. And, I don't know exactly, but I saw them parallel parking as we were pulling over and everything. But yeah, I didn't get into it with her about like how she should have seen me with cameras and stuff. And she didn't, like, she accepted the blame. I didn't have to sit there and say like, this isn't on me. Could she have, if she were not so cool about it, could she have been like, he backed into me? Because is there any way of nosed into her, you mean?
Yeah. Is there any way of proving like from like
probably
collisions, evidence that someone backed into you versus you ran into them? Or you rear-ended them? Not
that I know of. I don't know. There's probably something. Who knows? I don't know. But so I'm going through the motions, trying to figure out how to get this stuff taken care of and get reimbursed for it and everything. But it was that. The other thing was like when we were talking, pulling over, having pulled over and stuff, and exchanging information. She was clearly just not. Like it's kind of an emotional time. And I'm sure she's thinking about how, like, now she's got to make payments to get the couple little dings that were in her bumper from when she hit me, taken care of and stuff. She goes, she said something like, "It's such a cool car that you have. Like, what are you going to do? How are you, can you get parts for this and stuff?" And it was just such a weird question. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Has your car ever been in a collision? It's pretty old.
No. Somebody did. I wasn't there at the time, but I was parked on a street in Tacoma to go to a restaurant. And when I came out, somebody had backed into it and knocked the front plate off. And actually made a dent pretty close to where this woman left a dent. So it was probably another big SUV.
Oh, man.
But it was not nearly as extensive as what this one was. And I got that one taken care of at the time. But it's just...
I bet your car is made of like harder materials than newer cars. Newer cars seem like they're mostly like fiberglass and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think if it is metal, it's pretty thin. Yeah. And a lot of times, it's fiberglass or plastic or those sorts of
some
things.
kind of weird rubbery plastic type stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what's really funny is I've talked about this before. I take naps in my car during lunch.
Oh, yeah.
And this is something that has happened on 2 separate occasions. I'm like asleep, right? And then suddenly my car starts shaking. And I sit up and look to see what happened, and it was someone backed into my car.
Holy shit!
Twice while I was in the car. That
you've been there, yeah. It's probably happened more.
Yeah, and one time it was my boss. I didn't say anything to her though. I think she might have even known that it was my car, But I just looked up and it was her, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Did you get a little extra bonus that year?
No.
Or anything?
And I didn't say anything because I don't think there was any significant damage, but it was just funny.
It's a real pain, Yeah. Like I've had to go to my mechanic and figure out how to take care of all that stuff.
Yeah.
I got enough shit. I don't have to I don't need extra stuff on my plate just because people don't know how to pay attention. So it's a pain. But you mentioned sleeping in your car, and that brings up something else I was thinking about today, or in the last couple of days. Have you had to sort of develop the ability to nap on the fly like that, or have you always been good at that?
I don't know, because I've always been a napper. I always like to take naps in the daytime.
But isn't it
it could even be like a 10-minute nap or something? But
like being in a car, being in a that's
I don't know,
a different feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, I can fall asleep like almost anywhere if I'm tired enough.
And you always have been able to?
I think so. Yeah.
Huh. I'm not great at that.
Really?
Yeah, like I can take naps like at my place. I'm not usually good at doing that just kind of anywhere. I was just talking to a friend the other day who's an actor, and he was saying that like he takes naps now just usually at his place, but in the middle of the day. But he said he learned that skill. He acquired it because he would be working on like I think it would be things like doing a play, and maybe there would be a matinee show and an evening show, and he would have to just catch a few winks in between because that was kind of the only chance. And so he said, "Yeah, I learned to do that." I was thinking, like, I don't know how to learn to sleep in different places. He said he actually like learned it somehow. Yeah, and I've heard of other people doing that sort of thing. But I did realize that even in the last handful of months, there are a couple of things where I've figured out how to like sort of nod off better, like even just going to sleep for a normal night or something, or if I'm up in the middle of the night and I try to go back, where like I can catch myself in this little zone where I am getting drowsier and I can kind of stay with it. So I kind of get that. And I've never been able to sleep on my back until like maybe the last 6 months. And
I heard it's better for you.
I've heard that too.
I'm a belly sleeper myself.
Me too. Almost always.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I have like sheet creases down the whole side of my fucking face. And like, I'm just, I
don't know if it's ever happened to you, but sometimes it happens to me where I slept too hard and my eyelid is all fucked up. I don't know if that, it might be like our facial structure, but. It could,
yeah, I'm not sure about that actually. I've definitely had the feeling that I've been smushing my face, but not quite like that.
Yeah. I've woken up before and like my eyelid will be messed up for like the whole day. It'll just be like,
oh crap,
all smashed.
Just that piece doesn't feel good. How much, know, and like I'll sometimes twist my neck or something because your face is in the way when you sleep like that. Yeah. It's hard. But yeah, I don't know. There's something trying to sleep on my back. I don't know about you, but I've always felt kind of exposed that way. I think that's why I do sleep facing down. It's kind of like I'm more kind of protected or something.
Yeah.
But I've found that even like just sleeping with my hands like across my chest, that seems to be like enough of a feeling of some kind of coverage or protection or something, and I can kind of nod off that way. And it does feel better.
Yeah. So I think it does too. Well, if you can sleep that way the whole night, I think it feels better. But I move so much when I sleep. I'm a real restless sleeper.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just like all over the place. It's crazy. But maybe that's why I need to take naps. Or I
Right.
like to take naps.
Yeah.
But when I worked at the Strand, it was the only job I've ever been in where I was a union worker.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because it was a retail job. I was at the bookstore. Somehow the workers, I think in the 70s or 80s, unionized.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
That's
the
awesome.
United Auto Workers for some reason. It was really bizarre.
Oh yeah, I've heard of stuff like that happening.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of a little auxiliary thing.
Yeah. But we had nice 1 hour lunches when we worked there. And a lot of us would eat in the break room and take like 20, 30-minute naps back there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I used to sleep in the weirdest position. I would be like at the table, right, where I just ate. And then I would just rest my head onto the table on my arms and sleep like that.
Yeah, I've tried
In a
to do
weird
that.
hunched over position.
Yeah. Does that feel weird when you wake up?
It did feel that weird because I didn't sleep super long that way. I think if I had slept like that for too long, it would like be weird, but
Yeah.
I usually felt pretty rested after that.
That's cool. Yeah, grabbing little naps when you can is just, it makes such a difference.
Yeah. I could easily live in a country where they do the siesta thing.
Totally. I mean, everybody should do that.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't, I don't think we're meant to be, alert for 16 hours straight.
But America's just such a, I don't know, capitalistic society, everything is just geared towards productivity.
Yeah.
That, like, people even don't like to take really long lunches, or they eat lunch at their desk and stuff like that. It's just like,
Working lunches.
yeah, what kind of bullshit is that? Why do we do this to ourselves? It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, who are we doing it for? It's not for ourselves usually.
No.
We're usually doing it for someone else.
Trying to be more productive and like impress your coworkers or your boss or whatever.
And that corporate mindset is so embedded in everything that it even affects like this is something that is going to be sound kind of controversial. And I've worked jobs where I made tips, and that was an important part of my income. So I sympathize, right? But I think that the system in the first place is fucked up. I mean, customers shouldn't be subsidizing workers' wages.
Right.
They should be getting paid more from the other end, from their boss.
Yeah, the overall price should just go up, and then the tip should be unnecessary.
But it's like we've been so, I don't know, like, what do you call it? Like almost like propagandized by like
kind of conditioned
by like this idea that we're bad people, if we don't tip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wouldn't mind even if they just raised the prices overall and paid their workers more, and then we wouldn't have to deal with the hassle of figuring out all this tipping stuff,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
I wouldn't either. I mean, I like that idea.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, that in my experience, because there are a handful of places around here that do that sort of thing, like there'll be the little blurb at the bottom of the menu or whatever that says, 20% gratuity is built into the price of your meal or something like that, and so anything kind of essentially saying tipping is optional. And I'm sure some people do choose to tip above and beyond that. The weird thing is, and this is of course anecdotal, but it a lot of times feels like the service is kind of shit in those places.
Yeah, but that's a weird thing too. It's like workers feel like entitled to it. So they're like, I need to be rewarded to be a good worker.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work like, and it's just such a contrast to when you go to like Japan or something where there's no tipping at all there.
And the service is really good.
And the service is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have no answer because I hate the thought on the flip side that like, when you go to a place where the service is good and I can't help but think it's because they have it in mind that they want a good tip. I don't like the idea that somebody is, feeling that pressure all the time in that job. Like, I got to really go above and beyond. I just want to, not feel like I'm being ignored when I'm going into a place where there is a service person who's supposed to be serving me to some extent. So it's
such a weird dynamic. And I feel like almost like it's been so effective. Like we've been almost like divided and conquered, like the customers and the workers.
Yeah.
That the workers, they direct their anger towards the customers instead of towards their bosses.
Overall, yeah.
And it's like so backwards. It's like, no, your boss should pay you more money. You shouldn't be looking to us to, subsidize your wage. That's just weird.
Yeah.
but it's like so ingrained now that I don't know if we'll ever be able to fix it. Like,
yeah, it would take a big event to turn people's way of thinking around on that.
Yeah, but I've heard, like what you were saying, some restaurants are trying to go a different way with it and say there's no tipping at this restaurant, you know?
Yeah.
We just don't do that here.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually don't like those places.
Oh yeah. I've seen these headlines, you know, that millennials are having less sex than previous generations.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And I've also seen these headlines that boomers are retiring way later than other generations, or just not at all. And I was like, coincidence? Methinks not. I mean, having to work with baby boomers could really kill anyone's libido.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And more over time.
Yeah, you go into the office and you see this guy.
Yeah.
Maybe humming while he's working. And you're like, yeah, that's an instant boner killer.
Yeah.
Or vagina dryer.
Yes. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think there's a connection there.
They're linked up. It might even be a conspiracy.
Yeah. They don't want us to reproduce. They've been talking crap about us our whole lives.
Yeah.
Of course they don't want us to reproduce.
Wait, do you consider yourself a millennial?
Oh, no, actually, I'm like...
We're like Gen Y or something.
Very late Gen X. We're on the annoying, like, cusp type thing.
Yeah, nothing... And I do feel like that's true because nothing of those stereotypes kind of completely encapsulates us.
But they've been talking smack about Gen X too anyway.
Sure, that's true. Yeah.
Everyone just after them, they've just been talking
them.
smack about all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something's off about them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's
I think there's a lot of projecting going on too. They're like one of the most narcissistic generations ever. And they're like, yeah, these young guys are so narcissistic. And you're like, yeah, you're projecting, buddy. You're seeing yourself in these people is what you're doing.
Do you think boomers are having less sex too? I mean, I guess if they're working all the time, they are.
Well, I don't know. But yeah, I think I've also seen headlines where like boomers really want to just keep it going. They just want to keep fucking.
That's true. Well, yeah, they're taking all the boner pills all the time and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
It's like their parents' generation was the greatest generation. And they were just so high and giddy on like their success and how wonderful, like the great things they did for our country, and that they raised shitheads.
Not the greatest
That was their
generation.
Yeah, not the greatest parenting generation.
Yeah.
They failed in that regard. Like they raised some real fucking shitheads. Like, you're amazing. You can do whatever you want. You're just incredible. Like everything you do is unbelievable, you know?
Well, that is not the message my boomer parents heard, I don't think. But I think there were different ways of fucking that up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened there either. I'm just making shit up, but
Uh,
I'm trying to figure out here how it happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a big anti... What's the word? Shit, I'm not thinking of it. It's a very simple word. You know, anything that you take to get horny. What's the word?
Aphrodisiac?
There we go.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Like a eurodisiac or something. I was thinking about that the other day, though. Do you think in the information age that, like, do you think people are having better sex now than they did a generation or two ago? Like, on average?
I have no idea. I don't know how you could figure that out.
No, there's no way to really figure it out, but just kind of like, you know.
Because
something you
people
gotta
just
kinda feel into.
just have more knowledge about it in general.
Yeah, I think someone who's interested in having better sex has a lot more available to them now.
Probably. Yeah, and they're probably more considerate partners, and yeah, and they're just better. I don't know. They just know more. They're better educated about it. So
yeah,
that would probably
that's my
translate
guess.
to better sex in the bedroom.
Yeah,
or wherever you're doing it.
Or on the beach.
Yeah, or wherever it is you're doing it.
In the car.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad we covered that.
Yeah.
What else have we got here? I had a weird... Well, this is just something I realized over time. Like in the last couple of weeks, I've been... I realized there's a sore spot on the front of my tongue because anytime there's something like stuck between my teeth or something, if I eat something, my tongue will just go insane trying to get it out of there. And I realized a couple weeks ago that it hurt, and I'm like, what is that? So I looked, and there was this rough spot, and it just seems so stupid to me. Like, if it's that damaging to do that sort of thing, it should hurt much more up front rather than like getting so bad that it, actually there's a physical something that manifests. And like, so I've had to like really baby it for the last week or two. So
you mean it's getting kind of worse as time goes on?
But once I realized it, like I've had to really, it's the kind of thing that like, that makes itself worse over time. Like if you're not really mindful about it, And I realized too that there was this thing, I used to have this little like patch behind my ear where like, I think I'm maybe a little bit, especially if I'm stressed out, I can be kind of jittery, and I would just sort of like catch myself scratching behind my ear. And there would be this spot that like kind of cropped up, and it's totally gone now, but I had to be really careful about not touching it for a long time. It's like my body will just like eat itself if I'm left to my own devices. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, but like mouth, like injuries or sores are so weird. Like if you burn your tongue or the roof of your mouth, or if you get a canker sore. Yeah. Like those things are like
you can't keep your tongue away from it, right?
And it's like you got to eat, so your mouth keeps getting like
irritated.
Irritated, yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. It just seems like a big design defect is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's one of the toughest spots to heal, it seems like. And, oh man, that's the worst though, when you burn your tongue or the roof of your mouth, and like it just ruins food for like a week. Yeah. Like, I
never know how people drink really hot coffee. I always wait longer than just about anybody else.
Yeah, I don't understand that super hot food thing in general. Like Asians, for some reason, they really like their food piping hot, and I've always been unable to do that since I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody can.
In Japanese, they call someone like me a nekojita, which means a cat tongue. Like you don't want to.
It's so tender.
Yeah, like you don't want to slurp down the hot soup or drink the super hot tea. Yeah, but that's what I am, and
me too, apparently.
But I read this article that people in countries where they drink lots of really hot tea, there's higher rates of esophageal cancer from a lifetime of scalding your windpipe or whatever it is. What is the esophagus or whatever?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It seems natural to not want to put that down into your body, like something that hot.
Yeah. I heard recently, it seems, what the hell do I know? I know almost nothing about medicine except just the popular stuff that I hear. But I was hearing on a number of fronts in the last couple of years that inflammation is like a way bigger thing than people have realized over time. Like if your body, something about it getting inflamed and having to deal with that process and sort itself out is really taxing. Like it can lead to cancer and different sorts of, just all kinds of health problems. And so that seems to fit in line with that. Yeah. Like your esophagus is likely getting inflamed every time you do that.
Inflammation is necessary as like part of the healing process, but you don't want to be constantly inflamed. Yeah. Yeah. Because that will probably lead to some kind of like cellular damage or something, or whatever, DNA damage.
Yeah, there's probably kind of a bank that you're drawing from every time you have to heal something like that. Yeah. All right. Yep. Body eating itself. Check that box. Got it. Did you want to talk any more about that movie from last week?
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Did you get that link about Bruce Lee?
I did see that, yeah.
Did you read it?
I read it, yeah.
I thought that was wild. Like he totally didn't say that he could kick Cassius Clay's ass. He said the opposite. I think that's a weird thing to represent in the movie.
Yeah, he didn't even say that really, but then they made it look like he did say that.
Well, not only did he not say it, he said the opposite of it.
Yeah, so he was being really humble about it. Yeah. So I really don't understand what Tarantino was going for there. I read some of the comments, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I try not to do that until...
Where people were like, this is just clickbait, race baiting stuff, You guys really need to change your material up. Well... And I'm like...
the white people have logged in.
Yeah. It's like, we can talk about it if we want. Sorry that you don't like to hear about it.
That's a shame. Yeah. Well, and you're wasting a lot of time getting on here and saying these things.
But some people were saying like, oh, it's obviously a scene where, you know, that character Cliff, the stuntman, is daydreaming or something, because some of the scenes, like, it doesn't make sense as it goes along. Like,
I can't stand interpretations like that.
Yeah, it's like, how do you know?
Didn't you know that whole piece was a daydream?
Yeah, it's like, you don't know that. You don't have the script in your hand.
Yeah.
Tarantino didn't email you and tell you that. So
those are the people who think the cover of Abbey Road means Paul McCartney was dead. You know, like, it's all the same bullshit. Ugh.
Yeah, people just make up all kinds of weird shit, and then they pass it off as fact. Yeah, it's kind of disturbing, actually.
Yeah.
People can be so convinced they're right about something they have no evidence for at all.
Right. And that can, if it just gets repeated enough, it kind of goes into a special slot in like popular culture. Like and that it's already come up this early in the movies after, you know, being released, it does not bode well.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are going to be saying that shit. But part of the reason I brought that movie up is because I was thinking more about what we were talking about how it has like movies within the movie and shows within the movie and stuff. And I already talked about that Godard film that does that. I was realizing how much I like that trick in just pretty much any kind of art. Yeah. When there's like this recursion of having art within art. Like the movie Adaptation does that. We talked a little about the book The Counterfeiters that has where the main character is writing a novel also called The Counterfeiters. And he's talking about kind of he's struggling with the plot and how he's going to get that to work and all that. And there's something about, like, you get to talk about bigger sort of creative impulses and challenges in a way that I think is pretty cool. One of my favorite podcasts has a podcast within a podcast, actually, that I think is kind of a cool idea. And I was thinking, when we've talked about like how to do sort of different roles and skits and things on here or whatever, I kind of like the idea of having, like, we could compartmentalize things like that within what we talk about here potentially and have like little sub podcasts in this or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be cool.
That came to me this morning.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that I remember you brought up last week when else did Tarantino do that? And I remembered, he did it in Inglourious Bastards too.
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen that one.
But it wasn't like a super long thing, but there was the that movie, the black and white Nazi movie that they were playing at the cinema that she burned down. Yeah. That was kind of a movie within a movie. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that kind of stuff has happened in classical literature too, like in Homer and Shakespeare and stuff.
Has it really?
Yeah, there's been stuff like that. It's not definitely not a new thing.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm so unfamiliar with Shakespeare, and I've read a bit of Homer, but I don't know it all. That's for sure.
Yeah. Of course, I can't think of an example right now, but I remember that kind of stuff being there, and like in the Iliad. Yeah.
I only read the Odyssey. A lot of rosy fingers of dawn.
I think it's in the Aeneid too. There's a scene where they're describing like something painted on a shield, and then it goes kind of into that story a little bit. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. I want to go back and read those books again because there's just so much detail in them. Yeah.
Have you read Don Quixote?
I have, yeah. I read a pretty modern translation of it.
Did you like it?
It was okay.
I tried to read an old translation of it because I just found it at a used bookstore. It just bored the shit out of me. And I felt bad because it's like I'm being
a classic. How could you feel that way about a classic? Yeah.
And I've heard, people have said for a long time that it certainly in its time, it was supposed to be hilarious, like it was just this kind of a cultural send-up in a way, it sounded like, and it was not hilarious to me. And maybe it's on the order of being like an inside joke almost for that era. But I've also heard contemporary people saying they still find it hilarious. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, the only thing you need to take away from it is the term chaotic.
Yeah.
And the phrase tilting at windmills.
Yeah, I've got
That's all you need to know, yeah.
I ran into somebody's dating profile a week or two ago. Oh, and I started chatting with her, and we started talking about books. And she said that Don Quixote is her favorite book.
Oh, really?
I was like, I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah, I don't know if I could ever call that my favorite. It's more like one of those books that you acknowledge is influential or whatever, but it's not like I want to go back and read it a bunch of times or something, you know?
Yeah. It was impossible to have a text conversation about that. I am interested just to like sort of get a sense of what a person is like who says that's their favorite book.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to know what makes you tick.
Maybe she thought it sounded really impressive or something.
I wonder. I try and withhold judgment on that kind of thing, but it's certainly sitting in the back of my mind.
You don't want to be too judgmental about something like that, but...
Yeah. Like people who say Ulysses is their favorite book. No. Yeah. Absolutely not. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Finnegan's Wake or J.R. by Gaddis. Or just those really, really dense books that are just like almost impossible to read.
Yeah.
If someone says that's their favorite book, you kind of arch your eyebrows at that a little bit.
I think so. Should we call it?
Sure. Quick.
Short.
Verse.
With.
Young.
And Adam.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's probably...